Hello everyone, and welcome to my channel Health and Wellness with Emma Mentel. It's been ages since I've been on here and I had a chat or a conversation, but today I just felt I really have a lot on my mind and in my heart to share. And before we get to November, I felt like it was time to really just catch up and just share some of my thoughts with you. So before I get going with today's discussion and topic, I wanted to thank you for watching and also thank all the new followers. Thank you for sharing any of these videos that you might find helpful or supportive. And I hope that today's chat is going to be encouraging and help you on your health or healing journey wherever you might be. So Monday afternoon in Durban, South Africa, where I am from. Definitely getting into summer and very bright and summery weather. What I wanted to touch on today is the idea of in someone's health and healing journey, regardless of their diagnosis, what is a burden to the body, what depletes the body, and some of the things that we can consider to help the body restore or replenish. As you know, the way I work is very much holistic. I look at the physical, mental, emotional, and spiritual aspects when someone is unwell. In other words, regardless of your diagnosis, whether it's something as simple as a digestive disorder, an immune system that's not working perfectly or optimally, or something as radical as cancer, I want to know what you're eating, what you're drinking, how you're sleeping, but I also want to know what you're thinking, what you're feeling, and how we can create better harmony between all these different systems in the body. So for me, something like toxic burden, which is one of the concepts of functional medicine, can be addressed by looking at what is burdening my body from a toxicity point of view. And these can be toxins that we are exposed to. It can be something in the air, it can be something in the food we eat, it can be in the cosmetics we use, it can be in your hair color, it can be in the detergents that you use in your home. Something like your laundry detergent. It can be in your body care products. Obviously, it can be from medications. It can be from other chemical exposure. Not to even mention all the exposure to Wi-Fi, electromagnetic stress that we are all exposed to these days. So you can imagine if your body is not well, if your body is under stress and strain with illness or with an acute or a chronic condition, how a big burden of toxins, whether it's physical, mental, emotional, can be difficult, can make it difficult for your body to shift. So we want to look at how we can eliminate some of these toxins. Some of them we can just limit our exposure. We're not always able to eliminate everything. But if you start doing like a balance sheet of exposure every day, every week, every month, over years, you can start to see where making small changes can have quite a big impact over time. Obviously, that's also where detoxification support is really important. So as we start to limit or remove some of this toxin exposure, we also want to support the body in its attempt to clean and to cleanse and detoxify properly. Our detox organs would be our large intestine, the colon, the liver, the kidneys. The skin is a big detoxification organ, and so is our lymph. So any congestion in one or more of these cleaning organs will make our body's ability to detoxify harmful substances suboptimal. So, that really is almost like a whole speciality on its own, but it is a very important consideration for when you are trying to address the next steps on your healing journey, regardless of where you are at. In the same sort of breath, but maybe something slightly different, would be what I consider depletion. What depletes your energy? What depletes your nutrients? What are the thoughts, feelings, what are the lifestyle choices that will deplete you? So a slightly different perspective. So if we think of sleep, if you don't sleep properly and over months and years, you will become depleted. So we need adequate and optimal sleep for our bodies to heal and repair properly. So sleep disturbances, disruption in sleep, and chronic sleep deprivation will be one of those very obvious ways in which our bodies will be depleted. Stress, another, sorry, I've got such traffic in the background and buses are going quite crazy, but we'll just carry on talking. So things like stress, obviously eating junk food will deplete you. Obviously certain medications will also deplete you. So one's got to look at, again, where you can limit some of the depletion. One of the mentions in functional medicine is something like 27 holes in the bucket. If we want to consider how we replenish, how we put back the nutrients, how we use nutrients to treat or to address certain chronic conditions, we also want to look at where are we losing our energy, where are we losing our nutrients. Now, this does not just apply to sleep and what we feel. We also know that sometimes being with certain people will feel like it drains us. Listening to certain music will not make us feel uplifted or better. It will actually feel quite heavy, as if we've eaten a meal that doesn't agree with us. And so when it comes to considering depletion, I also really want to encourage you to look at how you talk about yourself and to yourself. There's that Apple experiment by Danielle Laporte, which I get some clients to do, and I actually like to ask my fasting participants to use that experiment, where you take an apple, you cut it in half, and exactly the same storage conditions. So one half on the one plate, other half on another plate, or a jar open, same place in the kitchen or the room. And to the one half you speak to like you normally speak to yourself or about yourself. I find, especially with women, that our inner voice can be extremely critical, extremely harsh, extremely unkind and impatient. So with the Apple experiment, it's to actually show you, and I really want you to go and try this. I also post about this sometimes on my social media, so you can go and have a look. But speak to the one half of the apple the way that you would normally speak to yourself. Impatient, unkind, harsh, critical. And the other half of the apple, you're going to speak to the way that we really should be speaking to ourselves, with kindness, with compassion, with love, self-love. We can't heal ourselves, our tissues, our organs, if we constantly bashing ourselves and being critical and harsh and unkind. So the other half of the apple, you're going to say kind things to. I admire your courage. You are a very generous person. You are beautiful. You are healing. So think of the things that your body really will respond to, and you choose the words or the phrases that you are more likely to respond to, and start speaking to that other apple half like that, in a kind tone. Actually, the way that you would be speaking to your best friend. And perhaps these times that we are living in, these extraordinary times, is very much to encourage us to find that inner kindness for ourselves, to come back to self-love, self-compassion, because our bodies, our minds, our hearts, our energy fields are being bombarded with really harsh energies, difficult energies sometimes to contend with. So try the apple experiment and then look at the apple halves over the next few days. And yeah, I would love to hear what you think and if you've tried it. But to come back to this point of what depletes us, you know, if you have been impatient with yourself, unkind with yourself, unloving statements and criticisms forever, for as long as you can think of, even when you're really doing your best, can you imagine the vibration of those words and how it's impacting on your cells, your tissues, and your body's ability to attempt to heal or repair? So this is where healing really becomes an inside-out job. This is where sometimes applying an ointment or taking a medication or just going to somebody else to say something to us doesn't really make a difference, because on the inside there's such a toxic burden from physical, mental, emotional toxins. We are being so depleted by our experiences a lot of the time. So when we then have to look at what is required in terms of our nourishment and in terms of what we need to replenish us, we can then see that it's going to be a lot. We're going to need a lot to replenish us when we feel so low, so burdened, so overwhelmed. And it's not one or the other. The more of these factors that we start to combine, I think the better and the faster the healing process will be. Although saying that, it took me 3.5 years to resolve a lesion of psoriasis that I had on my foot. And did you notice I didn't say my psoriasis? This is another thing that I noticed that people do. They refer to their condition or to their diagnosis as if they own that. So it's something that the body is expressing, whether it's a skin rash or a headache or a tumor. But the minute we make it that it's my psoriasis, it's my thyroid problems, it's my migraine, it's my constipation, it's my burnout, then it's almost as if we start to really attach our identity to that diagnosis as well. So we've got to look at the nutrients we use, we've got to look at the foods we eat, we've got to look at better sleep. We've got to look at removing or limiting some of the things that deplete us. And now when it comes to replenishing ourselves, I often think, apart from the nutrients, apart from the brilliant food or even the fast, what brings us joy? Where do I go where I feel uplifted? Where do I spend time where I feel my entire body feeling well rested, that I notice more beautiful things, more joyful things? Who are the people that I choose to spend time with? Because my nervous system feels soothed, because I know that I smile a lot when I'm with that person. How can I speak to myself from the time I wake up in the morning until I go to bed at night that will feel like it's soothing, reassuring, and calming? So for me as a practitioner, I want to teach my clients, and I hope for some of you this will also be helpful. I want to start to look at how we can encourage our bodies to heal and repair, to feel less burdened and overwhelmed, for our bodies to start to experience this inner radiance of kindness and love and appreciation, regardless of where you are at. So I really hope that gives you some food for thought, that it's not just about deprivation. Stop eating the sugar, stop eating the bread, stop taking the medication. It's not what it's all about, but it is what is burdening your body, which toxins from emotions to thoughts are you exposed to frequently, and which ones of those can you limit? Like the Wi-Fi, switch your Wi-Fi off at night. Wear some shungite. Have some EMF protection if you're constantly exposed to Wi-Fi radiation, those frequencies that can really be disruptive when our bodies are taking strain. Then what is depleting you? And which of those areas can you start to limit or eliminate? And then when it comes to replenishing and restoring, what are the nutrients that you can consider? What are the supportive tools that you can start to incorporate? What are the lifestyle options, like meditation, like walking, like being in nature, like being grounded, that you can start to include more often? And then I'm so excited because I got a new pack of cards by Tim Wilde, and one of my clients brought it for me from the UK last week. It's Tim Wilde and Miriam Beck, and it's the guidebook, Your Inner Light Force. A beautiful, beautiful card deck that I really wanted to get my hands on, and I managed to get somebody to bring me this pack. So I thought I was going to I wanted to draw a card for the group today. So just going to shuffle and think about the most important message for those of you who are watching. So calling on the highest aspects of the most appropriate guides and beings of light, the angels and the ascended masters, and the pure consciousness that's here to guide you. What is the most important message for you today? So I've given it a good shuffle, and then I'm just choosing a card from the middle. And the card is a number 43, Spirit Guides. It's an owl. And it says, this is about loving guidance, inspiration, and trust. And perhaps part of this message for you today with Spirit Guides is that is one of the tools perhaps that you can use as part of your restoring, as part of your healing, that you don't have to do this alone. Let's see, and the book opens right on there. Let's just see quickly what else this message says. We love you and have been waiting for this moment to connect. Have you noticed any signs from the world around you? Stop, breathe, and listen to your heart. So sometimes that voice that's trying to get our attention is just that feeling in the heart. And I was thinking about that today as well. You know, sometimes if I, for example, this is a lion's mane. Sometimes if I think about a supplement, I will feel like a yes in my heart, or I'll pick up a bottle and I'll feel a no, or something, a choice that I have to make, I'll feel a yes. If I have to really think about it, you know, it's more of a mental thing and I'll feel a no. But what this card wants you to know is we have been the companions of your soul for this and many other lives. We are by your side. We carry you, we teach you, we hold you, and we love you infinitely. So I'm not going to read the whole message. It's very long, but I think that's such an important and beautiful, reassuring message. And I hope for those of you watching that this card of loving guidance feels like a deep nourishment for you on your journey. Thank you so much for watching, and I wish you a beautiful day or evening wherever you may be.